I want to thank everybody for coming out today. We had a really good tournament. Guys competed well. We did some things well out there. Didn't do some things as well. Just a few of the stats. Cody Kite was able to win the tournament today. He had 5 fish for a little over 11 pounds. Will Blaylock finished second with 3 fish for just under 11 pounds at 10.99. Will also had the big fish of the tournament, a little over 4 pounds. Bradley Hill finished third, had 8.86. You know, it's tough conditions for these guys. We go out and, we're fishing in an environment that requires you to focus on being the best at all times. This isn't something where you can go out and do what you want to do. You've got to do what's right for the team at all times. I'm really proud of the way these guys competed. That's about all I got. Anybody got any questions?
Coach.
Yeah.
Coach, you just wrapped up the Gunnersville qualifier. How do you think our anglers performed as a team?
I think they're competing. I feel like we're doing the things that it takes to be successful as a team moving forward. I don't know if we've reached the point of competition that we need to be at yet. These guys have got to compete as each cast has a history and life of its own. And you can't go out and worry about winning the tournament, okay? You got to go out and worry about catching fish. It's not about who can hook the most fish, it's about who can catch the most fish, okay? So we need to get back to focusing on what it takes to be successful and to focus on each cast if it has a life and history of its own. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. I got another one for you.
All right.
All right, Coach. We're 3 tournaments in. Have you developed a depth chart for your anglers?
I'm tired of these questions. It's always something. Always somebody wants to know about a depth chart. Everybody wants to know, have you done this? Have you done that? You'll know a depth chart when I'm ready to give one. These guys are still out here working. They're out here every day. They're right now over there trying to get everything rigged up and go home to their families for a few days. But no, you guys are worried about a depth chart. Here's what we need to do. We need to focus on what it takes to be successful. We need to go every single day and go to be a history and life of its own with every tournament. Don't go focus on who's going to have a depth chart. Who's going to be number one? Because what if our number one angler goes out and zeros the next 2 tournaments? He's no longer the number one angler. You don't know what it takes to be successful. You need to start focusing on what it takes for this team to be successful, because this team has a history and life of its own as well. All right? This team does its own thing. What last year's team did has no bearing on this team. Even though it's some of the same guys, they compete together differently. This team has to develop a life of its own and what it does. So if you're asking me about a depth chart's not even my vocabulary right now. We'll develop a depth chart when it's time to roll into Gunnersville in February.
All right, thank you, Coach. One more for you. We all know that you had a tough struggle over at Gunnersville, and the next tournament is Wheeler. I've heard it's tough this time of year. How are you guys preparing for the tough conditions? Are there certain techniques you guys are using?
Here's the thing. I'm tired of you disrespecting these lakes. Wheeler's a good lake. Everybody goes out and they talk about how Gunnersville's great and wonderful, and it is. I have all the respect in the world for Gunnersville. But then you come out here and you try to disrespect, hey, Wheeler's done some great things. Wheeler's hosted Bassmaster Elite Series events. Wheeler has 20-pound bags weighed in. It's got the nicest ramp in the state. But you're out here saying that it's a lesser lake than Gunnersville. You know what? You need to focus on respecting each and every one, because I know if our anglers don't respect that lake can snap up and beat us. And then we don't need to be focused on what's coming next. We need to focus on each and every lake as if it has a life and history of its own.